Obviously not the outcome that we wanted here as we started, kickoff at 12:07 or whatever it was. I think those guys are welcome. We got a good football team. There's nothing can happen in that game. They got a good football team as well. They outplayed us today. They outcoached us today, and it falls on my shoulders. Questions?
Pat, you had I think 6 of your drives and then punts, another turnover on downs. What do you think they did to just slow you guys down?
They're pretty good up front, but we knew that came coming into the football game. Maybe they got probably close to the best defense in the country. They got some dudes up front, and they outplayed us today at the line of scrimmage.
Pat, what was your message to the defense after those 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties in the third quarter?
You know what? It's sad that you start the second half like that, both on third downs. You guys look at the tape. There's a lot of stuff going on out there, and I don't know what to tell you.
Pat, I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on, but do you kind of hold your guys to that standard, though, that they need to not put themselves in that position? Because after that drive, I think Shadarian and Tamam were both out there on the next possession. Do you kind of tell your guys they have to hold to a higher standard to not put themselves in that position?
Yes, we talked about it. They probably got more unsportsmanlike conduct in the country, and they got called against us today. I don't know how that happens, but there's a lot going on both ways, and the flags just got thrown against us today. We talked about composure. We're going to play Pitt football. We didn't want to play their game. So that was the message: is to not get baited into it, and we got baited into it.
Did you see anything you weren't expecting from Malachi, Tony today? Just what made it?
No, I saw everything I expected. I saw one of the most dynamic players in college football. Obviously, we've seen that the last 8 weeks. He's really come on. For him to throw a fade, I mean, he's throwing the ball well. He's a special player. He's hard to stop. He's hard to stop. We could have done a better job of stopping him. On the one touchdown pass he had down there, we didn't get the right coverage check when he motioned out of the backfield. Things happen fast, and that was disappointing because he was walled on this week, and we had to know where he was at all times. And it's an execution mistake there.
On the passing touchdown from Tony, I don't know, was there a lot of pre-snap checks defensively today, or was there some confusion out there as well?
I'm not sure which ones.
The passing touchdown from Tony where he passed to Lofton, where he slipped out the back end.
No, there wasn't. I think we were in pressure at that time, and I think the corner there, down Panther Pitt end, right? The corner just bit up on the reverse, and he's in thirds, and he's got to stay in his third. So there was no coverage check, no issue there. It's just a matter of having better eyes.
Pat, what was their defensive line doing so well that caused your offensive line to struggle?
Did you see what they look like out there? They're really talented. I mean, it's an expensive group up front, and they're talented. I mean, that's what they did.
It seemed like there was it seemed like there was a long exchange after the game with Mario. Anything?
No, I just told him he's got a good football team. Go win it.
All things considered, this is a pretty young football team you have here. When you look at this stretch, obviously it didn't go the way you wanted against Notre Dame, Miami. Got the win over Georgia Tech. What do you think young guys like Boozy and Mason and other guys can learn from this stretch here of meaningful games?
Yeah, Nate. We got to learn. We got a lot of young guys out there, but that's no excuses. I mean, Boozy was young last week when he rushed for 201 yards. So we'll learn from it. That's a good football team, and Malachi, he's a young guy too.
Pat, I think they only had 7 third downs in total today. Just how are they able to be so effective on first and second and just move the chain and gash you guys?
Yeah, they put you. We knew one of the goals was had to stay ahead of the sticks, and after the first 2 series, I think the third series is when we looked pretty good moving down the field, but we didn't make enough plays, and we didn't do a good enough job getting them open or blocking them up front and getting first down. Period. When we lost the time possession by over 10 minutes, so our defense is on the field, it's what it is.
It looked like Mason had some tape around both of his ankles when he came out after halftime. Was he limited at all in the second half?
Didn't look like it. I mean, he got a little tweak. He'll have some time to get healthy, but he's fine.
You knew that their pass rush and their defensive line was strong. What kind of things can you do to mitigate that? What did Cade try to do this week to mitigate that pass rush?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because they're going to play man coverage with it. So what could you do? There's a lot of things you can do, but they're so good in coverage as well. I mean, they're gonna man coverage you, and you can throw screens and you can run draws, but those are dangerous too.
Anything else?
Yeah, Dez looked like he was gonna play. What kind of went into that?
I just didn't. It was kind of game time, and he just couldn't go. I mean, and he's a Miami guy. He wanted to go, but just didn't feel good. Didn't feel like he could help the team based on how he felt. So I was disappointed. I said, "You got one play in you." It's senior day, and he said, "Coach, I don't think so." So sad for senior day. Again, our seniors are great. I wish the field was clear at the end, but our seniors are great. I love those guys and appreciate everything done here, for this football team, and we get one more opportunity to go out as a football team.
You punted twice in the fourth quarter. Was there any consideration going for it in those situations?
I thought about it. I just don't want to put our defense. We were on the field for so long to begin with. I don't want to put them in a short field. At some point, watching us move the sticks, that's almost suicide, right? I mean, let's punt the ball. Junko, I thought, did an outstanding job putting the ball where it needed to be, and so I mean, you gotta know what you're up against, and you gotta know, when to punt the football or fake it.
Anything final?
Anything else?